Hey everybody, it's Eric, 80s Horror Man here, and welcome to day 5 for my 31 Days of Horror. Today, I'll be doing a movie that was done in 1993, and I remember seeing a cover art to this movie on VHS a long time ago when I was a kid. I never bothered checking out the movie because the cover art looked a little scary, and I thought the movie looked kind of scary as well. But I ended up finding this movie on Peacock, ended up watching it, and turns out the movie wasn't really that scary, and it just turned out to be a little bit more I expected for it to be, because I never knew that this movie was a horror anthology. So the movie I'm talking about is Body Bags, where, again, as I mentioned, it's a horror anthology where it's got 3 stories on this movie. So the first story is where you got a woman working a late shift at a local gas station, but as it turns out, there's a killer running loose at a local gas station, just terrorizing it. The second story is where you got this guy who just can't seem to stand the thought of losing his hair, so he decides to go get himself a hair transplant, but it turns out the hair transplant that he wanted to get turns out to be a little bit more than what he expected for it to be. And the third story is where you got a baseball player gets into a car accident, loses his eye, and then gets a new eye after the operation. But after he gets the new eye, he starts having visions of the former person who used to own that eye. So I thought this movie was actually a pretty good anthology. I definitely enjoyed it. You got 2 stories directed by John Carpenter, and the third story directed by Tobe Hooper. And for the third story, one of the characters in this movie is Mark Hamill, who's known for playing Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars movies. He plays the baseball player that loses his eye in the car accident and gets a new one. But you also have the director himself, John Carpenter, playing the coroner. Here, like in a morgue, you get describing each detail of the certain story that we're about to get into next. But you also have a small cameo appearance by Tobe Hooper, and you also have future guest appearances by singers Sheena Easton and Deborah Harry. Deborah Harry played Ada Nikki in the movie Videodrome. But yeah, I actually ended up enjoying this one. I thought this was a pretty good horror anthology. So this is definitely a very fun one to watch. It does have special features where it's got the audio commentary with the director, John Carpenter, and actor Robert Carradine on the gas station. Audio commentary with director John Carpenter and actor Stacy Keach on Hair. Audio commentary with producer Sandy King and Justin Beam on Eye. Unzipping Body Bags featurette with John Carpenter, producer Sandy King, and actors Stacy Keach and Robert Carradine. And the trailer. So that's all the special features you got in this Blu-ray. Right there is the back. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it, since they mentioned Robert Carradine in this movie, I believe he's the one that played Lewis in Revenge of the Nerds. I think, unless I'm thinking of David Carradine. Nah, I don't know. I mean, I've seen both actors do sorts of movies, David Carradine and Robert Carradine. I can't tell who plays Lewis in Revenge of the Nerds. But overall, Body Bags, a horror anthology, I definitely recommend checking it out for those who hasn't seen it. But if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so that's it for day 5 for my 31 Days of Horror. What do you guys think? Have you seen this movie before? If so, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts. For those who hasn't seen it, you can watch this movie on Peacock. So if you want to see it, that's where you can check it out. Also, like and subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for some more videos and more videos for the 31 Days of Horror later.